System failure, the structural cost of leadership exhaustion. This is a diagnostic for high-performing executives and solopreneurs.
I want to tell you about a guy named Jason. Jason hadn't taken a full weekend off in 11 months. Every time someone asked how he was doing, he said the same thing: it's just a season. He had been saying that for 2 years. His company was growing, clients were happy. From the outside, everything looked like success. Inside, he was running on vapors. His patience with his team had thinned to almost nothing. He was forgetting conversations he'd just had. He was waking up at 3 a.m. with his chest tight, mentally sorting through everything that had gone wrong and everything he feared was about to. Then one day, a longtime client looked at him on a Zoom call and said, "Are you okay? You just seem off lately." Jason had no answer. He was not okay. He hadn't been okay for a long time. He just hadn't let himself see it. That moment, the one where someone on the outside notices before you do, that's almost always well past the middle. Executive burnout does not arrive with a loud announcement. It builds in layers: a skipped workout, a shortened temper, a growing disconnection from the work that used to energize you. By the time most leaders put a name to what's happening, the pattern has been in place for months, sometimes years. So today, we're going to treat this like the data-driven leaders you are. We're going to look at what's actually happening physically, emotionally, and behaviorally so you can see yourself clearly and decide what to do about it. First, let's get the scope on the table. 56% of leaders reported feeling burned out in the most recent reporting period. That's up from 52% the year before. This is not an isolated event. This is a growing trend, and it's wearing a very professional mask. C-suite executives face an estimated $20,000 in annual costs per leader just from disengagement alone. Sleep disruption and mental overload affect nearly half of high-earning professionals. Emotional volatility shows up in 46% of cases. And collectively, burnout costs an estimated $125 billion annually in U.S. healthcare expenses. The leaders carrying this weight are not weak. They are typically among the most driven, capable people in any room, and that is precisely what makes the symptoms so easy to dismiss. Ambition and burnout look identical, right up until they don't. As Ariana Huffington said, burnout is not a badge of honor. It is a sign that something is structurally broken. High performers are trained to push through the hard time, discomfort, exhaustion, frustration. When this push is applied without systems, without boundaries, the exact quality becomes the primary mechanism of collapse and worse. The pathology of the collapse, it's simple, really. It happens in three ways. Let's go through them. I'm grouping these three ways as physical, emotional, and behavioral. The most important note to make here is that executive burnout rarely arrives loudly. It typically layers itself in quietly, over months or even years. And the worst part is, for high performers, they are waiting for it when they are already in it. And waiting for it? Well, you are already too late to stop it. The physical is the body's way of giving you an early warning sign. The emotional starts to highlight the structural cracks in your operations. And the behavioral is complete system failure. Looking at the physical first. Number one, fatigue that sleep cannot fix. This is not tiredness. This is a persistent bone level depletion that sits underneath even a full night's rest. One of my clients, a fractional CFO, slept 9 hours a night for 3 weeks straight and woke up feeling like she hadn't slept at all. She thought something was medically wrong with her. Nothing was medically wrong. Her tank had been running on empty so long that sleep alone couldn't refill it. Number two, a weakened immune system. Chronic stress suppresses immune function. If you're cycling through more colds, headaches, or unexplained physical complaints than you used to, That's your body sending data, not just bad luck. Number 3, sleep disruption. Two patterns show up here. Some leaders can't fall asleep, their minds circling to-do lists and worst-case scenarios. Others fall asleep fine but wake between 2 and 4 a.m. Both are your nervous system communicating that it has exceeded its capacity. Number 4, physical tension, persistent headaches, shoulder tightness, jaw clenching. A lot of leaders find out they've been grinding their teeth at night from their dentist, not from paying attention to their own body. These are not inconveniences. They are operational intelligence your body is offering you. Now, the emotional. Number 5, decision fatigue and mental fog. Choices that should feel obvious start feeling heavy. Strategic thinking gets replaced by reactive firefighting. Jason noticed this before anything else. He said, I used to make 12 decisions before 10 a.m. without thinking. Then I started second guessing everything. An email that would have taken me 3 minutes now took 40. Number 6, emotional detachment and cynicism. Work that once carried meaning starts to feel transactional. Clients who used to energize you start to feel like obligations. This one builds quietly and does a lot of damage before you notice it. Number 7, irritability and a short fuse. This is the one that damages relationships with your team, your family, and your clients long before you recognize it as burnout related. You find yourself sharp in moments that don't warrant it, and you know it even as it's happening. That is not who you are. That is what happens when a high-performing nervous system has been chronically overloaded. Number 8, loss of enthusiasm for work you once loved. Every leader in this space built something from a choice. There was work that lit something up. When burnout takes hold, that light dims. You go through the motions without the energy that used to make those motions feel meaningful. Now, behavioral, and these are visible to everyone except often the leader themselves. Number 9, isolation and withdrawal. Burned out leaders stop reaching out. They cancel meetings they would have fought to keep 6 months ago. The isolation feels rational. I just need time to think. The danger is compounding. The more you withdraw, the more insular your thinking becomes, and the harder clear decision making gets. Number 10, declining performance and avoidance. This is where the business starts feeling the cost. Deadlines slip, strategic projects sit untouched. The leader who was once the highest output person in the room becomes the bottleneck. One of my clients described it this way: I stopped opening my own inbox, not because I didn't care, I cared deeply. I just couldn't respond to one more urgent thing. That is not a character issue. That is a structural one. Burnout persists because it operates in a self-reinforcing cycle. At limited to limitless, we call it the overwhelm engine. Chaos leads to reactivity. Reactivity leads to fatigue. Fatigue leads to inconsistency. Inconsistency costs opportunities. Lost opportunities generate guilt, and guilt drives the leader to push harder, which creates more chaos. And the loop repeats. Breaking that cycle requires more than rest. A vacation resets your nervous system temporarily. It does not change your operating conditions. What actually lasts is structural, operational clarity that removes you as the bottleneck and builds rhythms that sustain your performance without demanding your depletion. There are 3 questions in each category. Answer honestly. Physical. Are you waking tired more often than rested? Have you had more than 2 unexplained illnesses in the past 90 days? Are you carrying persistent muscle tension? Emotional. Are you making decisions more slowly than a year ago? Do you feel detached from work you once found meaningful? Is your patience with your team noticeably shorter? Behavioral. Have you withdrawn from relationships or conversations you once valued? Are strategic projects sitting while fires consume your week? Is your business running on your depletion instead of your design? 3 or more yes answers. You are likely not approaching burnout. You are likely already inside it. One thing before we wrap. This is not about working less. The leaders I work with are not looking for permission to stop showing up. They are looking for a way to show up at the level their business actually requires, without their health and their clarity as the price of admission. One of my clients, a service-based business owner, said it plainly after going through our process. I thought I needed a vacation. What I actually needed was a system. The vacation bought me 2 weeks. The system bought me my career. Burnout is not solved by doing less. It is solved by operating better. The dilemma with the standard intervention is that we believe some rest or a break will fix the problem. Unfortunately, it usually only delays and compounds the problems. And on top of that, you spend your entire vacation stressed about what you are coming back to. The competitive advantage of capacity is not just how many you serve, but how well you serve yourself and others. The compounding cost of burnout is that it is contagious. Losing approximately $20,000 per year per executive is bad enough alone, but multiply that across your team and you find out that it gets into 6 and 7 figures quickly. Not to mention the increase in employee turnover, strained relationships inside and outside of the business, and the revenue leaks that you can't even track. Conversely, implementing structure gives you compounding advantages beyond the health and relationship improvements. Revenues steadily rise, sustainability is assured, profits increase, and the business and your teams become fiercely resilient. Negative economies have less effect, and positive economies have greater effect. A business that no longer thrives on your energy and dives in your depletion is not a soft-o outcome, it is a competitive advantage. If you recognized yourself anywhere in what we covered today, your next move is a conversation, not another productivity hack. Click the link below and book your Founders Freedom Formula Q&A. It is a straight, honest conversation about where the real leaks are and exactly what to do about them. I'll see you there.